Hey there, greetings everybody. I want to welcome you here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're here for Wednesday night favorites. Now Ben has given me this challenge, and it's been a very hard challenge, to be honest. He asked me, he said, how about giving us a top 50 or so progressive rock songs of all time for you, your favorites, right? Doesn't seem like too hard of a task, but believe me, it's very hard, especially where I'm not really a song person as much as I am an album person. So for me to take 50 songs off different albums and make a list, it needed some parameters. Okay, so first of all, the most obvious problem is going to be what songs are progressive and what aren't. So I can't go by what you think is progressive. I have to go by what I think is progressive. So I've included maybe there's 4 or 5 songs on this list that I put together here that you might not see as progressive, but for the purpose of my video, I think of them as being that. In the case of a couple of them, I just wanted to mention the band because I think they're a very progressive band, and this happens to be a song that is a little on the progressive side. The next thing that was difficult was deciding how many songs to give each band, because if I just did, I'll just do my top 50, there'd be like 6 bands, maybe 7 or 8, might be a couple bands in there with one song, and then the other band, 5 or 6 bands, would get 45 of the songs, which doesn't really make any sense to do that, because you're just going to be repeating the same band the whole time, and all these bands are pretty much well known anyways, so you want to try to give some new stuff as well. So I've decided to limit it to just 3 albums per band. No, not 3 albums, 3 songs per band. No more, no less. Well, less, but not more. There won't be more than 3 per each band. The other thing, of course, is that there are a very large number of bands that I've only been listening to for a couple of years. They might get a song, they might not, depending on how long I've been listening to the song, because you got to remember, a lot of these songs I've been listening to for decades, so they're going to be hard to knock out of there by some upstart. It's only been around a short period of time. My problem is I don't like to give short period songs a top billing, because and then a month or 2 from now I don't like the song anymore and I don't listen to it anymore, and it's had a top billing and doesn't really deserve, so I don't do that. The other thing is these are going to be my 50 songs, so if you don't like that particular song or think this song is better or that song's better, got to remember it's just I'm looking at it from my own perspective. Maybe the last thing is there will be a few bands that of course I haven't listened to. They're still new to me, so I can't really include them in a list. I may mention them at the end, but I can't really include them in the list at this point. And there's 2 bands that I know I'm going to take heat for because I don't really listen to them. I do know of them. I've been listening to them for 40 years, but I never really follow them. They're not really there are a couple bands I don't really listen to their music much. I do have some of their music, but I just don't really listen to them all that much. One of them is included. They have one song that I happen to like. It's one of those borderline songs. But the other band, I mentioned them in my honorable mentions, even though I don't really listen to a lot of their stuff much. But I do recognize that they're great bands. It's just not, at this point in my history, I just don't really listen to them much, and I know maybe I'll take a bit of heat for that. That's fine. If you want to slug me down, you're welcome to do so. I prefer it though if you're going to argue with me about something, that you have a point instead of just calling me names. You know I don't really appreciate it, so I will probably not respond if you do. So that's just the way it is. Okay, enough. So we're going to do this in a 2-part section. The first part will be part A, which will be today, which will go from my 50th to my 26th. If you prefer to call it 25 to 1, you're welcome to do so. And then part B, which will be next week, will be will be the list from 25 to number 1. And that's the way I'm going to do it. reverse order. My most favorite, my least favorite to my most favorite, my least to best, my first to last to first, whatever you want to call it. And that's the way I'm going to take it. So before this drags on too far, let's get started. And so I'm going to do three things here. I'm going to give you the song, I'll tell you who the artist is, and I'll show you the album if I happen to have it. There's a couple I don't. One of them I thought I did, but apparently that might have only been in vinyl, and my sister probably has that thing. Okay, so on with the show. This is it, as they say on the Looney Tunes. Okay, so we're going to start off with one aberration right off the bat. The last two songs, I couldn't make up my mind. I wanted to include the one band, and I also wanted to include this album from the other band, because this album I like a lot and it hasn't got any songs on this list, but it needs to have at least one. So that's why we have a two-way tie for number 50. So the first one will go to In the Gray and the Pink by, sorry, I'm trying to get a proper view here, by Caravan. The song is Golf Girl. Yeah, it's not too progressive, but I think it does have some progressive elements to the music part anyways. The lyrics are a little quirky, but I do like this album a lot. I really think the art on this is fantastic. And that song is number 50, or tied for number 50, Golf Girl. The other song that is tied with it comes from this album by King Crimson. This is in the Wake of Poseidon, and that is the same song, In the Wake of Poseidon. I wanted to include this because I love this album cover. I really like this album a lot. It may be my favorite King Crimson album, but it didn't have any representation, primarily because I like it. I like them all, but I don't love any of them particularly much, and that's part of the reason. But the one song I do like quite a bit, and that's the title track, In the Wake of Poseidon. So there you have it. That's my tie. Next up will be my number 49. And I chose this song off of, the song is called Spirit of Water. It's off of the Moon Madness album. Let me try to get that in there. Moon Madness album by Camel. The sun is bright, is sucking in the light and shining it back. Yeah, I do like this song quite a bit. It's a shorter song on the album, but it's still really catchy and really good. And actually, most of the stuff on this is really good. This is an album, if you're starting your journey in progressive rock, this is not a bad album to start with Camel. Anyways, so that's number 49. Number 48. I do not have, this is one of the albums that I think my sister has the vinyl, and I don't think I actually have a copy of this. It's called He Knows You Knows, the song. It's on Marillion's Script for a Jester's Tear, the first album, which I really love and need to get. But every time I go to the store, I only have so much, and I see it, and then I see something else, and then I decide I'll get that one next time, and I never do. So, you know the game. So next up is from this band, which definitely had to be represented here, and that's Eloy. The album is Colors. The song is called Silhouettes. I think it's probably the best song on the album, but this album's pretty solid from top to bottom. They have other stuff other albums are really good too. If you're looking to get into some spacey rock type music, this is a good choice. Colors from Eloy. Silhouettes from Colors from Eloy. Okay, so number 46 is Desolation Valley, or Desolation Valley Waves, if you prefer, from the Tab in the Ocean album by Nectar. This was my first album ever listening to Nectar. I love this album. I like all four songs on here quite a bit, but that one's probably one of my favorite of their songs, so I mentioned it here. Desolation Valley from Nectar, and the album is Tab in the Ocean. That is number 46. Number 45 is another kind of space rocky band. The song is Psychedelic Warlords, Hall of the Mountain Grill from Hawkwind. This is a really good, solid album. that song is the one that starts it off, and it's such a catchy song. Absolutely love it. Number 45. Number 44, coming from a band that I've grown to love quite a bit. I like most of the stuff on this album quite a bit. I decided to pick the one song I think is the best, and that's Hinterland from Wobbler. I love the cover. So this is number 44, the title track from Hinterland from Wobbler. Next, excuse me, from another album that I bought last year that I like. It was one of my favorite albums, new albums of the year. Like a lot of stuff on this, but there's one song in particular, the opening track, which is called Friend or Foe from Riverside's Identity. I don't know. Anyways, really good stuff. Give these guys a try. You'll like them. Next up, number 42. Now this is going to be one of the first controversial ones. I don't think we've had any others. Well, maybe Golf Girl might have been a little bit. This one's a little bit too. It comes from Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. There's a couple of songs on here, a little bit on the progressive side. I chose Spiral Architect because I personally like that one the best, but you could have chosen National Acrobat as well. But Spiral Architect, I think, is a little bit better of a song and does have enough of that progressive element to it that I decided to include it. You may think I'm stretching it here. Maybe I am, but I think I'm not. So there you go. That was number 42. Number 41 comes from, sorry, just gotta find it. Comes from this album, Pieces of Eight, and it's the song Lord of the Rings, or Lord of the Ring actually. Pretty progressive song by Styx. Now Styx, a lot of people think of this as a progressive band. I tend to think of them as a hard rock band first and foremost, and then progressive, and then maybe a pop band as well. But if you go by the newer stuff, I would say they're more progressive. But this definitely is a progressive song here, Lord of the Ring from Pieces of Eight by Styx. And that would be my number 41. Number 40 comes from this band, Uriah Heep, another band that I don't really think of as progressive, although they do have a fair bit of progressive rock music. This is one of those albums that maybe some people might not think as being as progressive as some of their other ones, but I do like this album, and the song I chose was The Park by Uriah Heep. It's not too long of a song, but a really progressive one in my opinion. So that's going to come in here at number 40. Next up, another song that many people will probably say is not a progressive rock song. I've always thought of it as a progressive rock song. It has some different kind of vocally sounds to it, and it's the Humdrum off of Peter Gabriel's first album. Probably to me it's the best song on here. I know some people will go with Salisbury Hill, but I happen to like that one better. And those are probably the two songs I like on this album. The rest of them, I'm not really keen on this album. It's one of the Gabriel albums I'm not really keen on, but I do like that song in the Humdrum, or Humdrum if you prefer. Number 39. Next up, number 38, from another member of Genesis, Steve Hackett. Sorry, I'm going to try to get in here close so you can see it. Sorry, it's kind of broken up a bit. It was one of my racks fell and it was on that one. So it's got some damage to it. This is A Voyage of the Acolyte is the album. The song is called The Shadow of the Hierophant, which is the longest track on here. Really great. I wish Genesis had performed that on one of their albums, but still, it's well done here. Great. It really brings this album to the forefront. Great album. Great song. So that's number 38. Number 37. Gonna be at a little bit of a heat from this, I think. I wasn't sure if I should include this, but I think with the instrumentation on the album and the nature of the song, I had to put it on. The Long Way Home by Supertramp from Breakfast in America. Yes, this album is probably more of a poppy album, but it does have some progressive elements to their music still, and that's one of the songs I really kind of think of as being that way. So that's number 37. Number 36 comes from Misplaced Childhood by Marillion, Pseudo Silk Kimona. There's a couple of other tracks on here too that I like a lot, but that one, really good. I think it's one of the better songs on here. I think it's the opening track too, and the album cover, of course, is brilliant. So Marillion's Misplaced Childhood, Pseudo Silk Kimono. Sorry. Next up, we have number 35 from this album as well. And it's the title track from this album, Pieces of 8 from Styx. Definitely a progressive song, probably my favorite progressive song on this album. Not necessarily my favorite song on the album. There's some hard rock stuff on here I might like a little bit more. And so this is number 35 by Styx. Number 34 is from this album, Dark Matter, from IQ. This is one of my favorite albums in recent years. Really like this a lot. Had to take it off because I was playing it too much, because I just love it. I just think it's brilliant. The song is You Never Will. The vocals are great. The music is really good. It's a bit of a dark matter topic. Sorry, no puns intended. But this song, a little bit emotional, a lot of emotion in it, but definitely one of their better songs, and it's number 34 from IQ, You Never Will. Number 33 comes from an album that I don't have. My friend had it, so he bought one. In the time period, he used to buy one, I would buy one, and then we would record each, and then we both had both albums. So the album he got was Animation, and the song off of that album is Animation from John Anderson. Probably my favorite John Anderson solo song. I'm pretty sure it's not really close, to be honest. I do like this song a lot, and so it's coming here at number 33. Number 32 comes off Gentle Giant's Freehand, and that's called Just the Same. Yeah, really catchy beat. Very different from some of their other earlier stuff, but I really like this one a lot. I seen the concert that they had online that I thought was really good, and that was the opening song in the concert as well, so it really has stuck with me quite a bit. So number 32 from Freehand, Just the Same. Number 31 from Camel, not the same Camel album this time. It's off of the debut album, which I'm thinking may end up being my favorite of their albums. The song is Separation, from Camel's debut. Great song, man. Great. Next up, from King Crimson, off of their debut album, In the Court of the Crimson King. This is number 30, Epitaph. Great song, well known, one of their best, off of probably one of the best progressive rock albums of all time. And so there we have it. Next up, number 29, off of Styx's Equinox album, another Styx one. Now we've had 3 for a band that's not really progressive. They certainly are doing not too bad here. Sweet Madam Blue. Yeah, I think it's a bit on the hard rock side, but there's enough of a kind of progressive element to the song, especially with the keyboards, that I wanted to include it here, and I did. So Sweet Madam Blue from Equinox, or Equinox, however you want to say it, from Styx. We've got 3 left. I need to get one of these back. So the next one is from the same album, another great song off of this album, Burnt Brilliant by IQ. Yeah, so good. There's a part in here that just reminds me so much of part of Supper's Ready. It's so good. It's fantastic. The next one up is from Nectar, from their debut album, The Journey to the Center of the Eye. The song I've chosen is Dream Nebula. There was one other one here that I wasn't quite sure, and I thought about both of them, and I decided I like this one just a little bit more. Dream Nebula from Nectar's Journey to the Center of the Eye. And then the last song for this week, so number 26, from Pink Floyd's Animals. Yes, it's Dogs. I love that song. Pretty heavy song, like heavy for Pink Floyd especially. Just absolutely killer track. And this whole album is killer, but that song is probably the best of this stuff on this album. So there you have it. There's my 26 through 50. And I'll just reiterate them in the proper order this time. So we have from Dogs, we have, number 26 is Dogs from Pink Floyd's Animals. Number 27 is Dream Nebula from Nectar's Journey to the Center of the Eye. Number 28 is Burnt Brilliant from IQ's Dark Matter. Number 29 is Sweet Madam Blue from Styx's Equinox. Number 30 is Epitaph from King Crimson's In the Court of the Crimson King. Number 31 is Separation from Camel's debut album. Number 32 is Just the Same from Gentle Giant's Freehand album. Number 33 is Animation from John Anderson's Animation album. Number 34 is You Never Will from Dark Matter by IQ. Number 35 is Pieces of 8 from Styx's Pieces of 8 album. Number 36 is Pseudo Silk Kimono from Marillion's Misplaced Childhood. Sorry, I always want to see Childhood's End, but I don't think Arthur C. Clarke gets any royalties. Number 37 is The Long Way Home from Supertramp's Breakfast in America. Number 38 is Shadow of the Hierophant from Steve Hackett's Voyage of the Acolyte. Number 39 is Humdrum from Peter Gabriel's debut. Number 40 is The Park from Uriah Heep's Salisbury. Number 41 is Lord of the Rings from Styx's Pieces of 8. Number 42 is Spiral Architect from Sabbath Bloody Sabbath by Black Sabbath. Number 43 is Friend or Foe from Riverside. Number 44 is Hinterland from the same album by Wobbler. Number 45 is Psychedelic Warlords from Hawkwind's In the Hall of the Mountain Grill. Number 46 is Desolation Valley and Waves, if you want to put the second part in there, by Nectar off of their Tab in the Ocean album. Next is Silhouettes from Eloy off of their Colors album. He Knows You Know from Marillion, but off of their Script of the Jester's Tear album. Number 49 is Spirit of Water from Camel's Moon Madness album. And then there's a tie for number 50 between In the Wake of Poseidon from the same titled album by King Crimson and Gulf Girl from Caravan and their album In the Pink and the Gray, or In the Gray and the Pink. I think it's a Gray and the Pink. I always want to put them backwards. Anyways, so there you have it. That's my my part B of my top 50 songs. Next week we'll do part A. Please hit the like and subscribe. If you got any comments to make about my choices, you can put that down below. Whatever you want to say. Just try to be kind. I'm old. And please give your list and any bands on here you think you would like to put a plug in for. You can do that as well. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss next week's episode. And we will see you then. So take care and have yourself a good one. Bye.